Well, good morning. All right, welcome. This is Vinney and Beau show. Thank you for joining. Sorry we got started a little couple of minutes late, but we come live to you every Friday, weekly, every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. Please join us and give us comments, chat with us. We are here to upgrade your business to the next level. We are here to really show you some of the techniques that Brother Beau and I and the great guests are doing in their business to grow. So we got a great friend today, Ty. Ty, welcome, brother.
Oh, it's great to be here with you guys. I just love everything you do, Vinny. I love
Ah,
you, Beau, everything you guys do, and all the content you put out, everything you share in the real estate investor community is awesome. So thanks for having me.
thank you. But Brother Beau, you have known Ty for such a long time. I've known Ty also, and what a great human being he is. Let's just talk about. Let's give him, what he is, to share with his.
Let me just jump in here. I was at the Go Abundance event
Yes.
two weeks ago, and this is gonna kind of cue up Ty and so Terry L was like, Beau, I don't know if you know this, but you've like helped me so much. We got into Go Abundance. I met Ty through you. He jumped in. So Terry L jumped in your calling when you would call, right? And he said between you, he said, Beau, I don't know if you know this, but you added $1 million of net worth to me by because when he was making those calls with Ty, he bought 2 properties, which increased his net worth by $1 million. And I was like, damn, I've like that's amazing.
Yes.
So there are certain things that I've realized lately, like that all these meetings and these collaborations, and Ty's really just been so impactful in this. The way Ty and I have connected people,
Yes.
and brought like collaboration is amazing. And I have more and more people coming up. Like at my last meetup I did, somebody came up and said, hey, I want to just I want to let you know, like I was at your meetup 2 years ago. I met Mike Nelson, and I've done like 10 or 15 transactions as a realtor. This guy was a new realtor starting, and it's changed his life, he said. Right, I didn't even know the guy. So all the shit we're doing, right,
Amazing.
it changes people's lives. And not to like ego stroke anybody, but it's true. Like, and I never, it humbled me because I was like, damn, like, the stuff that the go-giver attitude really,
Yes.
we don't even know somebody's out there listening, and we give them or we interview somebody and give some nuggets, and it leads to all this stuff. And so sometimes I needed to hear that from Terry L, right? Like, hey, dude, you're impacting a lot of people. And Ty's been doing that in a big way over the last couple of years, especially. He's really kind of going out and putting huge things together. And Ty's going to help put the REI bar camp on. And Ty is probably the most connected person in the real estate space there is. So anyways, I just love what you're doing, Ty. I feel like I do similar things in the space. That's why we kind of get along so well.
Yes.
But it's like you're going to give. The more you give to people, it comes back to you. And sometimes
abundance, man, the energy, the light. I mean, everything should be win situation. The more we give out, the more abundance comes in. Isn't that so true? Now, welcome, Ty. It's so exciting. And also, Beau mentioned to me that in the Fresno event, you guys had 600 people over there. I know over here, we might even have a 1,000 to maybe 1,600 people. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. And that's going to be in April. Do we know the date or anything? You guys are looking at the venue, I heard, and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, it's kind of a rush to get it in April if we're trying to do a huge one. But I mean, the other thing is we like to bring, like, because this is an unconference, we're going to have a lot of tracks with different sessions. So people come in, it's conversational based. You take the tracks you want, but we will have, an opening session, and we'll do some drills where people will network with, the group, right? We want to make it really collaborative. And then the ending, keynote session.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get somebody that's, huge in the space, that has a huge draw, right? And like Ty's got those connections. So it's just a matter of like, figuring out who we want to get on the stage, and if they're available, and then putting this all together. But yeah, I think we can, 400 or 500 people would be realistic, depending on who the
Yes.
keynote speakers are, and it
Mhm.
just, but the collaborative side of the event will be really cool to do. And like, the one run, bring in Zuber in and all these people that bring a lot of value. And then
Mhm.
we would have a syndication room, maybe like, Vinney and maybe Neil, right,
Sure.
leading about,
Yeah.
hey, if
Yep.
you're make a lot of money and you don't have time, you want to invest as an LP. So we have
True.
all these tracks like
Yep.
creative deal structuring. Mike Zuber talks about one rental at a time. Hey, you might not want to be a promoter. Maybe you're
Yeah.
just not your cup of tea, but you can still get wealthy by buying one rental at a time. And we got short-term rental people. We got, Noah, we got Eric and all these people that
For
they
sure.
crush it in the short-term rental space. We got Al Williamson who does midterm
Yeah.
rentals,
Mhm.
furnished corporate nurses, and traveling business professionals. I mean, there's just a lot of content, right? So we want to bring value to people with these
Yep.
events, and like we don't want to just put an event on for, hey, we're putting an event for 500 people. We want people to come in and meet those contacts and be the Terry L's that add $1 million in net worth by
Yep.
coming to these events, right?
Mhm.
By showing up. And
That's
so,
so
yeah,
true.
it's
So
So
true.
amazing.
strong.
So strong. You're right, Ty. Yeah.
So
What do you
strong.
do?
And I want to say
Yeah.
with Terriel that like it's funny that I'm glad you mentioned that because I hadn't talked to him in a while. And he was a guy that would show up week in, week out. Always I would see him. He would come to different Zooms and trainings and stuff. And I knew he was doing deals and things were coming together. And then I just hadn't talked to him in, I don't know, probably several months. But then for you to come back and say, oh, I just ran into him and he's up net $1 million from that. And it's so awesome, man, to hear, because I didn't know that. And then
Yes.
even too, when you were talking a little bit in the intro. So as an example, I just talked to, so like with Cynthia, so I ran into Cynthia a couple months ago
Mhm.
and, like how much she's grown. Look at how successful and everything she's done in the last
Awesome.
6-7 years, hanging around, with you, Beau, and with you, Vinney, and then Eric, how much Eric's grown and like just how
Mhm.
explosive. And, all of these, wonderful. I ran into Chris, who's a friend in that circle also just last weekend in
Mhm.
Walnut Creek. And also that dude's having success and's got deals and got deal flow and rental. Just, it's so cool to see all of these people evolve. And you don't really, the crazy part is I don't think we ever necessarily set back and kind of reflect on that.
Mhm.
And that, that's your impact, Vinney. That's your impact, Beau. And that's
Awesome.
doing this kind of work, the meetups, the bar camps,
Yeah.
these podcasts, Mario, how successful Mario is over the last 10 years.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Even looking back, David Green, right? Like
Look
David
at
Green's a part of this inner
blossomed.
circle
Oh
East
my
Bay,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Like how much he's grown in the last, 10, 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
I remember meeting him in this circle in the East Bay meetups and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just really amazing, man. I didn't think about it that way that you guys introed it. And I'm really proud to be a part of this community with you guys and to be a part of this Go Giver East Bay, Northern California.
Amazing.
It's having a big impact. It really is having a huge impact on lives. So that's how I met Michael Zuber. I don't even think Michael Zuber is one of my dearest friends. I call him my secret weapon. When I get done with this, I'm going to get the privilege. I have to. It's not I have to. I get to record the Friday Financial News wrap up. Michael's in Asia he's only taking a month off, But anyway, I get the pleasure to do the Friday Financial News. And not only that, but I actually understand what CPI and PPI and what terminal rate is and what a 10-year, the 10-year treasury is and how it relates to the 30-year mortgage. And not only that, but what is the Fed going to do next and what 25 basis points or 50 basis points. All of that stuff was foreign to me. I've been hanging out with Michael Zuber. Why? Because I met him through you, Beau, and through you, Vinney, at a bar camp. And so I'm just saying this is such a beautiful community of what you guys are doing, the impact. And I don't know, you're right. So spot on that we need to actually set back and kind of reflect on the positive impact we have on lives. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah. When I interviewed Neil Bawa recently again, he said,
amazing personality, by the way.
Yeah.
Love Neil.
Neil said to me, he said, dude, you were like the first stage I ever spoke at, and that guy's got a nearly $1 billion portfolio now.
Yep.
Of, you know, from syndication. So,
Mhm.
you know, I never kind of like patted my own back, but I think like through my coaching, I've been being coached by a gentleman named Phil, and Phil's a very successful coach. I was actually intimidated to get him to be my coach because he was like Metallica's coach. I mean, like he coached like
Mm.
NFL coaches, and he, you know, it's okay to celebrate your wins, right? And to reflect back and say, you know what, I've helped a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, I was probably put on this earth to help people, right? And then also too, you have to like celebrate those wins, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you, like I think I funded David Green's first flip. I mean, he owned a couple rental
Yeah.
properties, right? I funded his first flip. And
Yeah.
I look back and I laughed because I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, man, I was, because another one of our friends invested like money in the deal, you know, the gap funding on that deal, and I did the hard money loan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, and now look at David, he's huge, right?
Yes.
And
Big time.
so you got to reflect back, and you got to go like, I've been very impactful, and I haven't given myself the credit too, and I think that's important too, right?
Hey, wait, time out.
Really, time out. Really, I'm telling
Vinny,
you.
I'm going to call a timeout here real quick.
Exactly.
So let's all like either your left hand or your right hand, right? Okay. And we're going to just literally, come on, Beau. You too, Beau. Vinny, we're going to pat ourselves on the back.
Hey, Beau, I met you
Great
7
job.
years back, brother. 6 or 7. How much joy you have brought, you know, to my life, literally, you know. And we started doing this Vinney and Beau show, I think 3 years back or so. I mean, what impact you have really done. It's unimaginable. I'm telling you, you know, and you're the connector. I mean, you just have that knack, marketing genius. I mean, bringing Bill into my circle now. In just a month and a half, Bill Davis, man alive, he is amazing. He's just put you know, like a target. What's that rocket ship in my business, in marketing? You know.
Yeah. It was funny the other day. So we do a lot on YouTube, Ty, and
Yes.
all of a sudden I just interviewed a guy on 1031 exchanges, and I was looking at where it was ranking, and Vinny's video was now ranking above mine because we're using the strategies so our videos show up in search. And I'm like, man, I gotta not give out Bill but anyways,
Yes.
like right before I jumped on here, I had interviewed Nate Lind is his name, and he's like a top online business broker. So he sells all the e-com businesses online.
Oh,
He only
wow.
he sells digital media companies. He's an online business broker, and he actually lives in Puerto Rico now, but does transactions throughout the States. And anyways, just because I interviewed him, we were talking after we got off the interview, and I'm like, oh yeah, you should be doing like this marketing stuff here I was showing him, and then I just spent 25 minutes with him, right?
Mm.
On the call. And actually I'm helping him set up a plan because he's got a lot of knowledge in his space, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, man, and then I just went to a meetup yesterday. It was cool because I was like, and it's a video content.
Las Vegas, you
video
mentioned.
content creator studio, and the guy's talking and everything. And it was funny. I didn't put this together, but I'm like, yeah, I hang my license. I don't really sell real estate anymore. I'm busy with my loan business and my consulting stuff I do. And he hangs his license at the same office. And the guy that manages his Realty One group is his dad. And I didn't know it. And I just went to this meetup.
That's so funny.
And then we hit it off. And this guy's awesome at content. And like, you can go and rent his space. And I was telling Vinny, when Vinny comes,
Yep.
let's rent a space and get some videographers.
We will, brother.
Ty comes in.
Yes.
We can rent the studio, right? Like, this is cool. Like, I see a vision of like more collaboration and like just kind of like, you know, like kind of 10xing it. And then I think like, you know, like people like,
hold on, 10x is going on right there, brother.
Yeah, I just watched it virtually.
Walter just sent me the picture with Grant Cardone last night.
Yeah. That's so cool, right? Yeah, 10x in it. So good, so appropriate. The 10x, they just did the conference. It was amazing. Yeah.
So Ty, like, where's the vision? Like, what are you seeing in the market right now? And like, how are you like, what is your goals like to go to, like, what, I mean, like, I almost see it like you're a transaction architect. You've structured thousands of deals, like as an agent, as an investor, you're now like helping people in the sub 2 community, which is Pace Morby's group. And you're like, you know, when we were at the Fresno event, like Ty is like, you know, Pace like loves Ty. Like he loves the guy. And Pace is just an unbelievable guy. Like I love everything he says. He's just a genius. Like I watched just a recent video. He's talking about YouTube, and I love marketing. And he's like, now I clone me. How do I clone me? I do videos, right? Like every video I do is a clone of me, right?
Yeah.
Just think about that. Like if you're putting out good content,
so great.
Just start cloning yourself. Like whoever's watching or listening this now or in the future, put yourself out there. Like don't be afraid to like, you know, like we all have unique experiences in life, and whatever your unique experiences are, you need to share that with the world, right? And
Spot
you
on.
can.
Spot on. Totally.
So I see you doing that more, Ty. Ty, you weren't doing much social media, but now you are. You're doing more.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah,
Yes.
because your videos are really good. Your editor, whoever's doing that, is doing an awesome job. And like Ty's got a lot of like knowledge that he needs to share. It's his duty. It's our duty now to share, because the more people we help, the more successful we become as an indirect, you know, as an effective helping people, right? And so I take all these calls because they come in from YouTube, and I'm like, some of these people, you know, don't have a deal yet, but I'll spend 30 minutes with them, right? And I'll like give them coaching. This guy from South Africa called me because he heard me say something on the Vinney and Beau show about like investing in merchant cash advances. And I spent like 30 minutes with this kid that I was like, okay, well, how much you make? And like, he wants to buy real estate. And like, do I get any compensation? Will I ever make any money from that? Probably not. Who knows? The guy could
to help that person to really have that fire, you know. I mean, that's what they're looking for, right? You know, both. Thank you, because it's so important that we get the youth in the right direction. He will say that strategy to his peers. You will see that, you know, as other people see him successful, he'll be the fusion in physics. It talks about fusion theory, right? Yeah. So that's what
I think too, it's, you know, it's sowing and reaping, right? So right now you're sowing a lot of seeds and all of that, and you're watering. And then I think it's just, you know, the law of compensation. You know, it's, if you keep sowing seed, if you keep giving and giving, the law of compensation, you can't help but it's going to come back. And not only that, but it's going to come back in a magnitude of abundance, you know. So 100% is kind of woo-woo as that might sound, or whatever, you know. I've been in this business now. It's interesting because I bought my first deal in 1993 in Vallejo, California. And I can remember, you know, I was a student / I was working full time. And I can remember though, working so hard and thinking, man, this thing, is it ever going to happen? Am I ever going to get there? You know, am I ever going to really be successful? And it's just time, man. It's time. If you keep putting out good stuff, you keep giving, whether that's through content creation, through consultation, through lead generation, all of that, you can't help but, you know, win. You're going to win. You're going to be successful. So that's what you just described, Beau. And I can say after 30 years, not just in my own life, but watching people like Vinney and watching you, Beau, and watching Pace Morby, by the way. Let's talk about Pace for a minute.
Yeah.
He is this guy, man. I'll tell you, when we were in Fresno, Vinney, this guy literally, I pick him up at the airport around noon, and I don't think he had maybe 3 drinks of water from noon to the time we had dinner. All he did was nonstop love on people. He never used the restroom. Not that I like the guy literally got there, shaking hands, talking with people, taking pictures with people, got on stage, inspired, lit the room on fire with knowledge and love and sharing and inspiration, came off stage, took about 300 or 400 pictures. I was helping him. I was the camera guy. And then we rush off to dinner. And then finally the guy has a drink of water, you know, like literally like nonstop. I would literally go and hand him water, and he would take a little baby sip and then set it down and ignore it because he was so laser focused on giving to people. And so,
amazing.
you know, the law, and now I can tell you, you know, it's no secret, right? I mean, Pace in the last, through single family housing, through education, through the go-giver abundance mentality, I mean, Pace is probably, I don't know, 50x, 100x his net worth
Wow.
in the last, literally in the last probably 3 to 5 years. Huge exponential growth. But I would say, knowing him the last 4 or 5 years, just like a rocket ship. But even, probably working hard at it for probably the last 6 or 7 years, and probably really a 10-year journey, really about a decade. So absolutely amazing to watch him and Jamil. And Jamil's the same way. Jamil Danji, same thing, go-givers. And that's what it's all about. So,
yeah, I heard Pace talking when we were at the conference. He's like, yeah, I'll be a billionaire. He was talking like, so it's like he already like, he knows it, but he studies. Like when I heard him on YouTube, he was doing a presentation and it was recorded and he shared it on YouTube, and he was talking about AI. Like he keeps up to, he knows what's going on in the world, right? And like he sees like how to, put his uniqueness into it. And I freaking like love that about him. I like listening to him. I like seeing such amazing things that are available for people if they put themselves in the right positions, right? Like,
did you see the video? So he does a video. It's on Instagram, and it's with Graham Stephan, actually.
Oh, really?
Graham Stephan. Yeah, he's being interviewed by Graham Stephan, and they talk about debt. Did you see that, Beau?
I didn't see that one. No.
Okay, they talk about debt, and so he says in there, and I forget. This is again, this is not an exact quote, but I believe he has like $250 million in debt, or $280 million in debt. And he's explaining leverage. So if you look at with $250 million in debt, I know Pace, and I know every deal he buys has a huge chunk of equity involved. This guy's a master deal finder, a master investor. So if he has $250 million, $280 million in debt,
he's got billion. I mean, 4 times.
He's going to be a billionaire, dude.
Yeah, has to be.
In my mind, he's going to be a billionaire. That means his net worth's got to be 100 million plus, right? I mean, even if he's at a third, even if I know Pace, and I know he's, even as aggressive he is, I know that when he comes to underwriting deals, he's very conservative. He's not a good deal maker.
Yeah.
He's not a great, he's an amazing, one of the best in the world deal maker.
Well, he's good.
He's engineer. So
like he's really good at talking to people, like TTP, right? Like Brent Daniels talks about, like, Pace can go in and have a conversation with the seller, and he can get the seller to finance a deal with, no interest carry or no interest costs. Like he knows how to break it down to somebody. And he's personable. Yeah,
Look
he's
at
personable.
this here. I mean, stats speak for itself. Look at this here. Oh my gosh. 200 wholesale deals yearly, 150 new builds completed, 7,000 plus renovations in 10 years, 50 fix and flip done yearly, 165 create buys and holds, and mobile home parks own 100.
He got into doing syndication deals on large multifamily. We got to connect Vinney and Pace. They might
love to
do some deals together.
I'm starting $100 million fund as of last week, and I'm going to be buying close to $500 million this year and next year. Yeah.
And I want to go back to something. So, Beau, you were teeing up something for me, and we get so excited when we're together. So I want to go back to something. You asked me about the year and what I think is going to happen this year, and kind of my direction, or just kind of general direction in this.
Yes.
I want to say a couple of things. That fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. Meaning, now, fortune doesn't favor the foolish, but it definitely favors the bold. Meaning, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Vinney knows what he's doing. Beau, I know you know what you're doing. The circle of friends we spend time with, the people we've talked about on this show, they know what they're doing. We've all become great operators and underwriters and deal makers, transaction engineers, transaction architects, all of that. So that's number one. You can't be foolish, but the fortune will favor the bold, and that this will be a great year. And I think only that, but a new cycle that 2023, 2024, and I don't know after that, but beyond, what happens. We are going to see an incredible opportunity because there's so much chaos and uncertainty, right? Some
Yes.
people are saying, oh no, there's a bubble, a market crash, all of this, interest rates and inflation and all of that. And by the way, that's all very real.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that that's not real. Inflation is real. We're probably going to see 25 basis points in March.
Yep.
We'll probably see 25 basis points in May.
Yep.
If the news, because again, if we look at CPI, and this is for the week of February the 17th, 2023, because I know some people might be watching this as a recording.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at what's happened the last couple of weeks, 30-year mortgage was dipped down about 10 days ago, under 6%,
Mm-hmm.
5.99, but then has been rolling back 6.5, maybe even we could be headed back to 7% for the 30-year mortgage or beyond, maybe even 7+.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. CPI was good. It's working what the Fed's doing, but that number was slightly, and the key word is slightly, higher than expected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not through the woods,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of uncertainty, but guess what? When there's a lot of chaos and there's a lot of uncertainty, there's deals to be made. What does that really mean?
Opportunities are there for the takers. That's so true. So true.
So true, Vinney. And so
Yeah.
what does that really mean? You just got to negotiate a better deal.
Yep.
It's not, don't be so focused on the rate that it paralyzes you. Don't
Yeah.
be so focused on the negative or what's not, the rate's going to go high and I'm talking about, I work mostly in residential, 1 to 4 unit, a lot of
Sure.
single family stuff. I know Vinney does, huge multifamily syndication, big
Sure.
deals, but ultimately, yes, there is uncertainty in the mortgage markets, in the money markets, but guess what? What does that mean? We just got to be better at making our deals, negotiate better deals. But this is going to be a huge opportunity. Vinney, your thoughts?
No, totally, Ty. I'm going to say that the adjusting of the mind of the seller is going to happen when they get desperate with these, mortgages. In my case, also, I'm saying that my mortgage at my Knoxville 107 units went from 35,000, brother, to 72,000 a month. A month. But in 1 year, we have repositioned that property that I'm putting zero money from my pocket because the cash flow has increased by 35,000 a month at that property. That's a winning attitude, right? But the thing is, now I'm getting Freddie Mac giving me loan at 5.35%. I locked it in. So it's gone down from 7.96%, where it's gone to adjustable to 5.3. What I'm saying is that
So good.
I'm a genius, but the thing is, you got to hit it head on. And the adjustment last 3 years has been just like everybody overbidding.
Yeah.
And, all these variable loans let you buy at 20% down. You know what I mean? Rather than 30% or 35% down like that. So there will be opportunities coming, what you're saying, Ty. And those who are good underwriters, they'll be able to negotiate with the desperate sellers, which they would have made money too. But their opportunities coming galore. That's what I'm raising $100 million quickly within maybe, let's say, 3 months or so. I will be deploying it to get 400 to $500 million deals. I mean, total.
It's funny, Ty, you use the word bold, because I was in I was getting coached, and I said I need to do something bold. And so it's amazing, like when you said that, how it's just a trigger. Like that was just a conversation I had a week and a half ago or something with my coach, and I said I want to do bold stuff. That was like, and then Ty said it. So it's like, now it's really impacting, right? Like, just go for it. Like, I go to this meetup yesterday. It was a small group, but it was like, I was already interacting with people. Like, there's so many people out there that can help you grow, right?
Yep.
All these growth factors. You got to go out and get out of your comfort zone. If you're not going to meetups on whatever thing, this was about video content and marketing, and, but that's where I'm going. I'm always trying to level up, right? Like, you keep on leveling up, and then don't be afraid to do bold things, right? Like, don't be afraid to be bold. And so that was perfect that you said that.
Amen. What you're saying is so right, brother. So true. So give us some more nuggets, Ty. So you're right. Opportunities will be coming. What do you see in the sector of different sides of the real estate. There are so many different sectors. Is there one sector more? I know multifamily housing, we always say
Yep.
residential and multi is probably in the forefront. What other sectors you think? Are the hotels going to come back? I know that's the other one which I'm really concentrating on.
It's interesting that, and again, this is only from reading and talking with people. I'm not a commercial
Sure.
person, but I definitely, I see a lot of vacant in the highest, most, I go to downtown Walnut Creek, I go to any downtown, a high-end area, and there's a lot of vacant space. So commercial property, definitely. And then a lot of commercial investors, guys that I know that are doing, like big box type stores or shopping centers, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those, single use, specialized use. I see people, definitely there's opportunity there. I think the other thing that's interesting is, so in the residential space where I work, and, I'm pretty much a California only guy, and I'm very focused in the East Bay of the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area. I'm in parts of the Central Valley, Stockton, San Joaquin, Fresno. So one of the things, there's 3 markets in every market. So the way we look at it as the entry or first time buyer market, typically below the median value. Then you have the move up, which is typically around the median or slightly above. And then you have the third market, which is 2x, 2 times the median value. We would define that as luxury. Yeah. So right now, what Michael Zuber's talked about for months and months and months, and I believe and see, is this is going to be a white collar recession. Most of the layoffs, when you hear about them, they're typically HR, finance people, Boeing, tech companies. At the same time, you'll see a company like Chipotle. They're saying, hey, we're going to open up 280 plus new stores. We're hiring 15,000 more people in the next 6 to 9 months. So the service sector seems to be incredibly strong. The white collar, the middle class is getting squeezed. And so I look at, if you are buying like a move up property, or you're able to house hack, because I know we got a lot of people that are just getting started, house hack, maybe on a move up neighborhood, not a first time buyer, but maybe even a slightly better house in a better neighborhood. Those are soft. We're seeing price reductions like crazy all over the Bay Area on that mid-range market. And then also luxury is flat. The ultra luxury still moving. The wealthy, there's the ultra wealthy, they're still buying, selling. I have friends, hey, $7 million deal, the high stuff, a lot of that stuff's still selling, but it has to be special. It has to be 1000% on point. It's got to be a very on point property. The mediocre stuff is not selling right now. It's setting on the market for 90, 100 plus days. So I think affordable, entry level, first time buyer, that's all the same thing which is under the median. All that stuff is still very low inventory, not just in California, not just in the Bay Area, but across the country based on people I hear. So that is a safe place to play. And I love Vinney. I think there are a lot of operators, people that have tried to do what you're doing, which in the syndication space, that maybe don't have the levels of competence. They don't have the teams. They don't have the accounting. Maybe they just simply don't have the reserve capital behind them.
Yeah.
So I do hear little whispers and murmurs about people that may be exiting the space and so forth. So I think even for what you do, I think in any space, there's always room for somebody that is wise and really knows how to operate. And again, back to Beau, the bold.
Yes.
That was really good. Really good.
That was amazing. Amazing.
Hey, Ty, what's I just met, and I met him through you. He was at the Go Abundance event. He's a South Carolina realtor. Is it Kevin Mills or
Kevin Mills is a beast.
Oh my God.
Kevin Mills.
Oh yeah. So anyways, I was talking to this guy and then we're like, we know each other. And I was on, Ty had me on some calls for a long time with some of the best realtors in the nation.
Wow.
And I remember listening to Kevin, and then I met him in person. He was telling me all the shit he's doing. And he's like, the guy sells 350 properties a year. He
Wow.
buys mobile home parks, houses. Like this guy is
Like two
crazy.
assistants, not like a team of 20 people. He's got
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 assistants and his wife or something. I don't know what it is today, but it's like
Oh
Kevin
my,
Mills is a beast of beast.
oh
He
my
is one of the
gosh.
best operators in the country in
Kevin
Myrtle
Mills.
Beach, South Carolina. The guy's
Myrtle
gigantic.
Yeah,
Beach.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he's just a, he's just a super humble dude. And then I was like, so then I remember and I didn't even realize at that time how much of a beast he is. Even like,
Wow.
like
You mentioned about South Carolina. How about Charleston?
it,
Matt O'Neill. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know about Matt O'Neill also. I know he's been a Go Abundance, person. I don't know if he was there this year.
yeah, it
I know
sounds
him by
familiar.
name, and it's interesting though. But Kevin Mills comes from a lineage of.
I see.
So he works with a guy named Greg Harrelson. Jeff Quinton, all dear friends of mine, and these are like the OGs of for 30 years of being involved with Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Matthew Ferry. The Mike Ferry organization for realtors
I
is
see.
the original first coaching company, mastermind company, if you will. Tom Ferry is Mike's son. He's gone off and just,
Wow.
10x everything. He's a huge, probably one of the biggest I think the best digital marketer in that realtor coaching space.
Awesome.
Tom's amazing. And
What about that? What about that? So Ty,
so Thatch, but that's where we all met. So Thatch, Greg Harrelson, Joe DeRaffaelli, Alex Lear, Jeff Quinton, Eric Elagato, Sharma, Todd Marks. I could go on and on. Like these guys, I mean, absolutely incredible. Just and all of these guys, some of them, those names you may not know. Some of them, the listener, if you're listening to this or watching this, you'd be like, you may recognize some of those names, you may not. But believe me, it's by design. If you don't know their names, it's by design because they've done so well. They just quietly like to have a quiet, peaceful life, even though they're one of the best real estate operators in the country over the last 30 years. And so that all came from Mike Ferry, dude. I got to say that the biggest blessing for me was that I was curious about personal development as a young 18, 19-year-old, read a Tony Robbins book, met a guy. He introduced me to Robert Allen, a book, Nothing Down for the 90s. Somebody, my cousin's grandparents gave me a Carlton Sheets. They had bought it and they said, hey, we think they went through it and they were like, you would probably do incredible with this. They gave it to me as a gift, a Carlton Sheets home study.
Yep.
And I was still like
I
dabbling.
bought it too.
Right? And it's so good. But it was a girlfriend. It was a girlfriend that gave me a Mike Ferry, like, hey, here are some cassettes and VHS videos.
Back then,
And I was like wildfire. I fell head over heels in love with personal development, learning, growing. And then I realized this is my ticket. Yeah. This is my ticket to all my hopes and dreams. And not only that, I didn't even realize that's how I met that's why I'm friends with Thatch. And not only that, when I met Pace, I'm like, this dude's, that's the other thing too, is that when I met you, Beau, when I met you, Vinney, when I met Pace and Jamil, or like Thatch and I've been dear friends for, 25 plus years. When I meet somebody and I vibe with them, I know it's like, I want to stay in touch. This is somebody I want to, how can I add value to their life? Number one, but also like, this is somebody I want in my life, like a friendship. Because I know that we can help each other. I know I can add value to you, and you've already added value to me. So, like, that's a key thing of that network. When you meet great people, man, stay in touch with them and figure out how can I help them? How can I, what little thing can I do for you? What big thing can I do for you? That's the old genesis of these deep, long-lasting relationships.
This is so wonderful. I think this is amazing. Ty, we love to have you back again, brother. And
I would love it.
I hope everybody watching us, you have really gotten great. We do this live show. It went to 14 channels today live. and then we'll be making a podcast out of this also on both, and reels and everything. So hopefully you like us, you like the content, share with people who can really benefit from all these nuggets that we do. And please suggest to us also, if you are a great speaker, if you are really influential in your field, we'd love to invite you as a guest. And Beau, any
I want
last
to say what you
brother?
guys do is so organic and so natural. We didn't plan anything out. Beau just said, "Hey, come and hang out." And I'm like, anytime I can come and hang out with you,
Yes.
Vinney, and hang out with you, Beau, I
Thank you.
love like when we get together in person, like
Thank you.
the Walnut Creek, we do meetups or what we're going to do in April. By the way, and let me just plug April, by the way.
Yes, please. Yes.
We literally don't have, like, it's just an idea. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. It's just, we're like, what can we do that would be super cool, that would enrich a lot of people's lives? It would be fun. We can get a bunch of great people together in one room, in one location, in one day. And that's the way we start. It has nothing to do with making money. It has to do with, getting great people together, because we know we're going to give, but we're also going to walk away with
Yes.
3 to 5 ideas, 10 ideas of, how can I go out and grow my business? How can I go out and have more impact in my communities? All of that. So people, stay tuned. Follow Beau,
Yes.
follow Vinney, follow me. You can follow me at TY_LG
Yes.
on Instagram,
Yep.
1_ TY_LG on Instagram. And we have so much good stuff coming up. And I got to say, if you keep following Beau, keep following Vinney, because these guys are true go-givers, guys. Thank you so much for all that you do, Beau and Vinney.
No,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. And we'll invite you again, Ty, and stay tuned. We'll see you next Friday. Everybody, have a great day.
Happy to be on your show finally.
I'm a long-time fan, and I watch all your guys' content.
Awesome. We're very, very, very invested in our community.
It's wonderful to be here.
This is Vinney Chopra and also my good buddy, Beau and Steve. And we are so happy.
It's amazing what's going to happen. So, we're amped up to do the show, and we got a lot of hype about the guest today, so I'm excited.
I know. So excited to come live to you all. Live 9:30 every Friday. How to take your business to the next level.